Good afternoon to you, and it's another beautiful day that we have here. Another opportunity to go into the market to do what we ought to do, make money for ourselves. And congratulations, everybody who has made it another day with us here again. Thank you very much for joining. It's a beautiful day. I had to stay back home and from my home office communicate with you and continue to keep track. I congratulate everybody who is here. Congratulations for keeping faith and, of course, putting together your resources to grow your money. It's good to see you again, Austin Mamus. I really appreciate the gift. My first gifter in the very first minute of today's live session. I hope you can hear me. A lot of things are being tested right now. You know how we do it. Keep power tapping your screens. Keep tapping your screens severally while we get more people to join us. Let the screen actions carry on powerfully from the beginning to the end of the live session so that we can continue to help many more others, to show them the way, to lead the line, to point them towards growing their money. It's good to hear you. Now, everybody, please, if you can hear me, I want to see your confirmations. Just say yes, 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 so we can proceed. Today is Children's Day. Let's celebrate our children, and I want to remind us that we should find a way to begin to open accounts for our children, for those who do not have. Here in this community, we already are doing that for our children, and of course it's making a lot of sense because many of those penny stocks we recommended for children is already making a lot of money. So we are not just going to be millionaires, we're going to be parents of millionaires as well. Let's just keep the faith and keep going. Thank you very much, everybody. I see your confirmations. Thank you so much for keeping in touch and confirming. Now I know I'm not talking to myself. Every effort to improve communication is being made, and hopefully you will get hitch-free transmission as well. And for everyone who will be visiting the YouTube channel as well, you will begin to see a better production in terms of sound and all that. Thank you very much. Official Mobo says, Coach, Aradel seems to be flying away. I'm not yet satisfied with the present units I have. Well, Aradel will give you some time. I believe so. Myself, I'm still not satisfied yet. This Aradel, I will keep buying even if it gets up to 600 because I actually know the value and want to make sure that I take very good position in that stock. I saw it jump to 530 naira this morning, but as God will have it, apologies to those who may want it higher because they are done with their purchases. It seems to have come down to 502 as we speak right now, but that's a sign that eventually the supply for Aradel may be drying up. It's a matter of whoever is offloading to be done with their offload because, and you know, sometimes the way these things behave, it's by common sense, you can be able to understand. Now, there has been a regular supply of Aradel, which means an earlier or foundation holder of that stock is now taking profit, right? And that will continue until that fellow is done. But while he is offloading, and no matter how many the volume is that he is offloading, you will realize eventually that new sets of people are now taking hold of these stocks. All the transactions being done on Aradel, billions of naira every week, is being soaked up by a new set of holders who have another level of patience and will now hold. So eventually, if that supply source dries up, you will now have Aradel in the hands of new holders who are looking forward to holding for the next 3 to 5 years or more. And that's when the supply begins to dwindle and the price begins to appreciate more rapidly. So for now, let's enjoy the availability and huge supply that continues to come to the market. Thank you very much for that. And this applies to every other stock in the market, especially very, very, very valuable ones. You know, if you start a business and it does so well, you may want to offload a part of it to venture into something else, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that that goes to confirm the saying that I always say, that we are really not buying stocks in the stock market. Even if we think we are, practically we are actually buying patience. So where the the patience of the initial holder stops is where the patience of those who are just buying starts. All right. So anybody who can wait long enough will continue to benefit from the stock market. Thank you very much. I cited stock bubbles in the building. Really appreciate you for the great work you are doing. And I was so impressed with the work you have done with your website. I'm quick to always recommend it to all my followers. And indeed, I'm sure they are getting absolute value from what you do. So well done, and we're glad to have you in the house. Let's keep working together. Let's keep growing the Nigerian exchange, and possibly also helping many more others to deepen their investment knowledge. All right, I go on to the next item, which is straight on to what is happening in the markets. Like we said, Aradel, having sold as high as 530 naira, is now at 507. It closed yesterday at 505.9. And of course, let's go straight on to stock bubbles for the top gainers of the day. Usually, I begin by telling you the top gainers, the top 10 gainers as we get started. But that doesn't mean that's for the day. It means just for the moment, because a lot of activities continues to go on. And we have number one top gainer for the day at the moment is Omatech, gaining 9.23%. And at number one, 71 kobo right now. Mansard Insurance is second on the day, 5.88%, 9 naira per share. Okay, this chart is still reflecting when Aradel was as high as 530 naira. I've done my refreshment, but it's still showing that Aradel is the number 3 top gainer for the day, though presently it's way below 530. In any case, let me just run it down. I think this is a bit delayed, but let's still keep going. Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank number 4, 2 naira 45 kobo, gaining 4.7%. NACO 78 naira, gaining 4.7%. UPL, that's University Press Limited, 5 naira, gaining 4.38% at number 6. VFD Group, 15 naira 20 kobo, gaining 4.11% at number 7. Okomu Oil, 620 naira, gaining 3.3%. Then Ella Lakes, number 9, 3.3, that's 3.45% at 3 naira 30 kobo. Is that okay? And then Prestige Assurance, 1 naira 3 kobo, gaining 3%. I think the top gainers for the day list is somewhat delayed, but it gives us a picture of what's going on. So there are very few major large cap companies on the top gainers list, which means not much financially has moved the market yet. Let's see how it goes. There's something very striking that I saw and I wanted to share with us. We saw a huge outflow of foreign direct investment in the Nigerian capital market compared to April in May, I think. Or was it the report? Okay, May is not over yet. Between March and April, comparing both months, foreign direct investment left a lot in April, leaving the Nigerian market. And I can relate that with what happened in the foreign markets when we had the U.S. market crashing, and we saw a little bit of that. There was a ripple effect on the Nigerian market on a certain day when a whole lot of Nigerian stocks experienced sell-off, But after that, the Nigerian market was able to pick up. I think that was what happened and led to the movement of capital out of the Nigerian exchange. But you know what? I realized eventually that in spite of such heavy outflow of foreign portfolio investment in the Nigerian market, the Nigerian market has held firm. Something unusual. That's very we notice is whenever there is a huge outflow of foreign direct investment, I mean foreign portfolio investment, with now 78 naira per share, gaining 3 naira 50 kobo today. So a whole lot is going on, and it's really interesting to know that the Nigerian market is picking up, perhaps based on a larger participation of the Nigerian public. From what we are seeing right now, many more people are getting aware, and social media is helping to also reach out. And a new generation of Nigerian investors are coming into the market, a younger generation, and it can only bode well for the Nigerian economy and, of course, the investing public. So keep your questions now coming in. If you want to call in, feel free to call in and let me treat your concerns. Thank you very much for your attention and followership. It is really, really appreciated. Our purpose is to make sure that you find other means of growing your money. Currently, 561,000 shares of Aradel has been traded, amounting to 289 million naira. Okay, so I'll run through our stocks that we are watching. We have Cadbury at 37 naira per share right now. Not too many sold or traded so far. 413,000 bids for Cadbury versus 738,000 on offer. Vincent Tinati says, which stock are you advising us to buy? Well, I've just mentioned Cadbury. Cadbury is one good stock to buy, but you want to watch and see if you can enter below 37. Currently, it's at 37, but the highest bidder has bidded 36.8. I think that's a good bid for the moment. Okay. Omoni Bright is saying, please talk about CAP. Now, that was the stock I mentioned some time ago. I said, there is one stock I am watching, and it's a paint manufacturer. How many people remember that? I remember throwing that hint and said I was going to do a research about that particular stock, and let's see what happens with it. But at the moment, I haven't done that, whereas CAP continues to rise. That stock is CAP. CAP PLC. They are a paint manufacturing company, solid at that, very, very defensive stock, if you like, because the price and volatility is not that much, and it's actually CAP. Okay, Maobi says he remembers. Thank you very much for affirming and confirming. The fact is, I've always seen CAP many years ago as a very stubborn stock that never drops. In spite of the fact there is not much fanfare about what they do and all of those things, not much publicity, but they remain very steadfast and firm. Today it's trading at 47.10. Now that 47.10 intraday, that's high, and is on full bid almost all the time. My only concern with CAP is that it is illiquid to an extent. That's my only worry. So trading very close to the 52 weeks high of 47.75 kobo. CAP PLC is on full bid as we speak. 707,000 bids, no offer. And the 52 weeks low is 30 naira 90 kobo. So that's the lowest that's traded for the last one. You can imagine 1,147 stock traded. That's where my worry is. This type of stock is so illiquid. People are not willing to sell, and that's mainly because it's been a stock of the olden days. CAP has been there all along, even before Beja Paints. You know, both of them are in the paint manufacturing industry, and what that tells me is that it is owned by the older generation of investors who are not too keen to sell their stocks, and some of them do not even know what's happening with their stocks, and of course some have already died and gone. But I can assure you that perhaps another reason could be that majority of the stocks, the shares outstanding, are in the hands of directors and the main controllers of the company. So perhaps their free float is also very small. But basically, characteristically, CAP is a defensive stock that is illiquid. So that's why I was careful not to mention it too quickly. All right. I hope this opens your eyes to some of the challenges you may be faced with. But for now, it's on full bid, no offer. What price can we bid Qtix, coach? That's from Lily One's Interiors. Let's see how much Qtix is selling. I saw it drop 1 kobo today. Okay, that's it. It closed at 321 yesterday. It's at 320 today, losing 1 kobo. But the bid is lower than the offer, 6.9 million bids versus 10.2 million offers, and the lowest offer is 320 while the highest bid is 319, so 1 kobo difference. And I'm just showing you how to do your bid and offer analysis to make a decision. Now, of the lowest bids at 319 per share, there are about 409,000 bidded for. So if you place a bid at 3 naira 19 kobo now, you are most likely going to queue behind over 400,000 shares. But considering the fact that the bids are less than the offer, I think that's a good price to bid for today if you are desperate to buy today. Otherwise, you want to stay a bit and watch, because this stock most recently climbed to 3 and is trying to create a support level at above 3. Whether it's 320 or 330 or 310, we are still watching to see. And those who had it under 3 are now piling up their stocks and offering this much. That's why you have 10.2 million bids, offers against 6.9 million. Seplat will pay dividend next week. Can't wait to get my own dollars. Frankfurter, they will eventually actually give you a conversion rate and pay you in naira. But it's a very good stock if you entered early enough. Okay, CAP selling at 40 naira. No, Besak CAP is selling at the moment at 47. Yeah, that's it. 47 naira 10 kobo at the moment. So it depends on where you're viewing from, but that's what it is right now. Dangote, okay, Dang Sugar best entry. That's coming from Dozier. Let's see how much Dangote Sugar is at the moment. Hopefully it's not above 38. Okay, it's currently at 38, same price it closed yesterday. 1.8 million bids versus 2.1 million offers. I would prefer a bid below 38. So let's say 37 naira 90 kobo. There are about 338,000 shares before you if you bid at 37.90, and I think that's fair enough. And then you are most likely going to be able to buy because the bids are less than the offer slightly. Okay, what price should we bid NACO Beauty Find Shop? Now that's a very serious. Okay, they've sold down Qtix at 319. A lot of Qtix is being sold right now at 319. Let's see. Okay, and it has drastically reduced the number of Qtix at 319 to just 17,000. Yeah, so just 17,000 shares are what is at 319. After that, 318 and all that. Okay, CAP is selling off seriously. They've cleared out all the bids at 319. It's now selling at 3 naira 18 kobo. Okay, and there are just about 86,000 shares being bidded for at 318. So after 318, the next is 317. So you see the pressure is on the sellers right now because there are 10 million bids and only 6 million offers. They are still pumping out more Qtix at 318, and of course they've cleared all the 318s. It's now 317. This is looking very interesting. 317 right now is the highest bid, and guess what, there is even an offer at 318 this time. So more pressure on the sellers. 10.2 million bids versus offers versus 6.1 million on Qtix stocks. Okay, So this is how you enjoy some of these things if you are in a very good um, portal where you can see live trading transactions. And of course, it's better that you are buying. Okay, so Dangote sugar, like I said, 37 under 30 under 38 is fine. Cadbury is 36 naira. Besak, are you kidding me? Let's see. That would be a fantastic entry at the moment, considering their first quarter result, which is a very good one. So let's see. Cadbury, I go back again to see. No, it's at 37. I wonder where you're viewing from. Besak, can you confirm where you're viewing from so we can be able to know what we're doing? Let me take on some questions on Instagram, right? Good morning, coach. Is UPDC a good one? Drabisoye Ajayi, UPDC remains good if you can buy at 3 or below, right? We go on to UPDC to see what the situation is. Every time it attempts to climb above 3, something tries to pull it back down. So that's the fate of UPDC. And as long as there continues to be supplies clearing the bids, then it will continue that way until the seller is done. UPDC at the moment is, let's see what the situation is there. 3 naira 10 kobo. It closed yesterday at 311. It's in a serious battle to remain above 3. It's done a good job, if you ask me, because it suffers a whole lot of supplies. But there comes a time when more people now own it at above 3 and are not going to sell. And then the price begins to pick up, just like I made that analogy with Aradel. So 3 naira 10 kobo currently. Well, whether it will sell at the lowest bid so far at 303, I do not know, but that's a possibility because there are 4.9 million bids now up against 4.2 million offers. So the bids are slightly above the offers, and that means there is a chance to buy it less than the 3 naira 10 kobo it is at the moment. It takes just one impatient buyer. Come on now, NACO is on fire, 79 naira as we speak. Something is brewing in NACO even after dividend payment. The stock continues to fly. Could there be a bonus in the offing or something great is about to happen? Well, people are stacking up NACO. That's because I think that stock should be worth 100 naira. I've said it before, I think a week ago, that stock is due to climb up to 100 naira. And it's looking like no, the people have found out and they are not relenting at all. Another stock climbing today, just like it did yesterday, is WAPCO. Currently 84 naira per share and serious volumes going on there. 1 naira 65 kobo gained. One good thing about strong stocks is that when you buy, you are sure that you're going to make good money when they start picking up. Please, I have 100K. Can I buy Aradel at the current price? Well, you can buy Aradel 507 or thereabouts. Or you can look for something a bit cheaper and buy, let's say, a stock like Cadbury as well. NACO continues to pump up 79 naira 95 kobo. This is getting very, in fact, a trade for 80 naira has just gone in at exactly 12:24 p.m. Nigerian time. NACO, somebody bought 1,000 units at 80 naira per share. And I'm just smiling because I remember mentioning NACO all the way when we were in, I think we were in, when we used to be in WhatsApp. That time, Network Investors Club were on WhatsApp, and was it around 15 or 20? That was when we started mentioning NACO. Look at it right now. And it just keeps getting better. Remember, that's the NACO I bought 9 naira per share. Come on now. Money is easy to make. Yeah? All right. I bought Aradel at 461. I'm enjoying the ride. Awesome. Good feedback there. Thank you very much, Frankfurter. It's really happening for us, and it can only continue to get better. Now, Nerich House says, how do I get started, sir? Well, first things first, you open your brokerage account. Second thing, please go for knowledge. Amazing. I'm seeing NACO at 81 naira per share, even though it's just 3 shares. The point is, who will strike 100,000 shares block transaction for NACO to remain at 80 naira. We watch and see. So get started by opening your stock brokerage account. If you do not have one, DM me on Instagram. I will send you a link to open your brokerage account. Go on to my YouTube channels. There are very helpful beginner guide videos you can use to begin to understand the market. Send me a DM also to send you the link to join Net Worth Investors Club. We are over 2,100 members right now and still flying. It consists of Nigerians in Nigeria and Nigerians in the diaspora, including some foreigners, because we also discuss foreign stocks. Now, by the time you keep following and being a part of this live session on a daily basis, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Nigerian time, you can only get better than you were when you started. But guess what? While you are still learning, you could still immediately put your money to work, because some of the things we are saying here could appeal to you, and you use your own discretion to determine which is most suitable for your investment goal. In the end, you will eventually end up developing a strategy for yourself. Nobody should demand money from you. We are building ourselves. This community and club is a do-it-yourself club. That way, that's the inspiration I got from the onset. How do I help people to do these things without exposing them to the danger of people breaking in and deceiving them, committing fraud and defrauding them? And the first, being a banker, I can tell that once you give, just like people have their own bank accounts, it minimizes a whole lot of fraud. So once you lead people to know how to do it themselves, and they open a brokerage account for themselves, then they are dealing directly with the broker. Everything goes through their bank account. And I do not like the issue of people coming to me to say, take, invest money. I don't like that. Doesn't make sense. I'm not, so as long as there is no ulterior motive, I will just show you what to do this, do that, and everything works out for you directly. So you see all that is going on. You just need to learn a few things, and you do not need a degree in economics, banking and finance, investment banking, or what have you, business management. No, all you need is the desire. You have a strong desire to grow your money through the stock market, you are most welcome, and hopefully we will show you how to do it, and you keep going. Now, the beautiful thing about a do-it-yourself community is that whatever you learn is for you for life. And there's no better way to impact humanity than having you learn a skill that will add money to you going forward. So even if whatever happens to the group, whatever ban that happens, because this is actually my second TikTok account. Many of you do not know I used to have a TikTok account that got banned for whatever reason I don't understand. But you see, because you must grow your money, I am here in your FYP, or however it is that I got to you and you eventually connected. So I will continue doing what I'm doing. There are so many others who might have lost me due to one thing or the other. Some people have lost their phones and so on and so forth. And that's why I advise that you follow me on all social media handles so that you don't lose out completely, because I can't tell of any other place where somebody's talking to people like this for free without meeting them and just sacrificing. You see, the world can be a better place, right? Thank you very much. I need your comments. I need your calls to come in, and let's keep communicating. Frankfurter says, I have the stocks about 3 months now. What stocks are you referring to? Aradel paid dividend to me today. Thanks, coach. Really? Oh, today is 27, but the payment date is supposed to be 29th. Or could it be that they were owing you your interim dividend? For the information of those who do not know, Aradel actually pays dividend twice. Last year they paid interim. That was 8 naira per share. And they are going to be paying the final dividend on the 29th, which is 2 days from now, right? And they are paying 22 naira per share. So altogether, they would have paid 30 naira for the 2024 financial year. So imagine some of you bought Aradel last month and were able to qualify for the dividend. That dividend is for 2024 financial year. The profit they made in 2024 is what they are distributing to shareholders, part of which they are distributing to shareholders. So you didn't even need to hold the stock since 2024, right? You jump in before qualification date, you benefit. And then that positions you absolutely for the 2025 two dividends that will be paid. So after you receive the last one, which is the final dividend for 2024, by next tomorrow, get set for another interim dividend to be paid to you come September, October this year, just a few months from now. So the same goes for some of these other banks. So by the time you build a dividend cash flow by buying into these stocks that pays dividend more frequently, you would have done yourself a world of justice. Where else do they encourage you to build wealth this way for free? Aradel promised to pay on or before 29th of May. So most investors are receiving already. That's a proactive company. Now, when it comes to dealing fairly with shareholders, being plain and open, Aradel is one company you can trust. One company you can trust. And they have a fantastic track record of that. So very well. Whoever has received the Aradel dividend right now, awesome. That goes to confirm, right? Now, the same can be said of NIDF. I remember 2023 ending. Towards the end of 2023, NIDF decided that they were going to pay an extraordinary dividend. This is a company that pays dividend 4 times a year, now telling us they will pay the 5th one. Why? Because that they sold an asset and had to redistribute the revenue or the returns from the sale of that asset to shareholders. And so that year, NIDF paid dividend 5 times. So it's good to invest in companies that you can trust and have displayed some level of transparency and honesty. All right? These are part of the things that you use to evaluate the companies you put your money in, especially the most of your money that you want to grow in the stock market. Yeah? Okay. We keep going. I love the engagement. Unfortunately, don't have money then, but got Aradel at 513.5. Never mind. Dr. Abisoye Ajayi, I guess that's it. You will not regret anything you invest in right now. I like to inform us that it's good to take view your investment like planting. You know, no farmer, no matter how illiterate they are, goes back one day or 1 week after planting a seed to go and investigate if it is growing. They are exposed enough in that area to know that time is required for the seed to die, decay, before it begins to germinate, and then it sprouts. The illiterate farmer who didn't see the 4 walls of a university understands that principle and has been operating that way. So we don't expect anything less from us. And so treat your investments like planting. You are planting, and therefore you need time and patience for your seed capital to decompose, then begin to sprout for you to see. So stay patient, and that's why when you are investing in the market, invest in fundamentally sound stocks. Unless you are so good, you have developed your trading skills to the extent that you want to just keep trading in the stock market. And if that is what you are going for, then you must understand also the difference in terms of price movement in the Nigerian market and in the foreign markets, because they don't move the same way. In the Nigerian market, a stock cannot gain more than 10% in one day. But in the foreign markets, a stock can gain 100, 500% in one day. So the volatility is quite high in the foreign market. My hobby says the NIDF investors are really enjoying, and I'll budget a block sum for NIDF. Absolutely. One good thing about NIDF is that the stock price has not moved too much. And I know that it takes time. As they continue to remain consistent, the moment they start attracting portfolio investors. What I mean by portfolio investors, not necessarily a foreign portfolio now, because we have portfolio investors who invest, especially when it comes to pension. So pension fund administrators. If the NIDF approach really suits their investment criteria and huge monies begins to go after NIDF stocks, then what you will get is NIDF will start growing in terms of capital gains. Even if that doesn't happen, the fact that NIDF strives to continue to grow their dividend payout, eventually the price will be correctly priced to match the dividend yield that they offer. Charms is up for sale at 2 naira 10 kobo right now. Okay, that's a good alert. Thank you very much. Hi coach, I have 2 million to invest. I have bought 100,000 charms. I'm not sure what else to buy. I have been trying to get Fidelity at 18. Please, what do you advise? OG baby. Okay, let's see what the situation is with you, Fidelity, because that stock was looking like it could touch 17, which could be a very good price. It was hanging around 18 and trying to see how it stays up. But let's see what the current status is with this Fidelity. Fidelity 18.15 at the moment. Let's do the bid and offer analysis to see. Okay. So suddenly the bids are now more than the offers. As at yesterday, the offers were more, but right now the bid for Fidelity is higher. 25.8 million bids versus 17 million offers. And the cheapest offer is at 18.15, while the highest bid is at 18.10. Okay. All things being equal, if we go by what we are seeing, it may not drop below 18.10 because there are more bids than there are offers right now. All those who have been desperate to sell out of fear might just have finished selling. That's what I'm seeing here. And if that be the case, then I think the best bid to put here for Fidelity should be around 18.10. I like the fact you were so conservative, you wanted it at 18, and that's the best thing to do. A lot of times, the profit you make is not after you bought the stock, it's what price you entered. For instance, when Fidelity dropped to as low as 17.20, when most of us saw the opportunity and jumped in, you see, it can hardly go down to that price, and this is a presumed crisis situation. So by the time everything fades away and the stock rebounds, we are talking about going back to 20 and 22. So I would advise that you put in a bid at 18.10 and care less whether it goes down after that or not. But any other stock to buy, I would say look the way of Cadbury and Vitafoam. Cadbury and Vitafoam. Just that you may not, it's not also good to overspread the money in too many other stocks, right? So what's the cost price for Champs now? That's coming from Gift Samuel. I'll check for you right away. Champs currently is selling for 2 naira 27 kobo. Champs is in a battle to stay above 2. It is doing a good job at that right now. 10 million bids versus 9.9 million offers. So we see how it goes. Wando will do a stock split on June 20. Frankfurter and June 28. It's not a stock split. Let me explain. There was a debtor to the company who decided that they could not afford to pay back their debt in cash. In any case, because they own some Wando shares, they decided to go into a bargain with the management of Wando and decided to surrender their Wando shares to the management in place of the debt to offset the debt. So the management accepted and decided now that those shares have been surrendered, the best thing to do is to redistribute those stocks to existing shareholders. That's what has happened. So that's different from stock split, and that's also completely different from bonus. It is a bonus coming from the viewpoint of the shareholder, the minority shareholders. But in the actual sense of a bonus, it is not. And that's because for bonus shares to be issued, the company has to pay for fresh shares. First of all, there has to be a paid up capital that has sufficient shares left. And then they now authorized share capital rather. There's a difference between authorized share capital and paid up share capital. A company can have 10 billion shares authorized share capital of 10 billion, but paid up share capital is only 5 billion naira worth. So if the nominal value is 1 naira per share, that means 5 billion shares are authorized but unpaid. Right? So from the authorized and unpaid, the company will now pay for some of them and distribute to shareholders as bonus shares. That's the way bonus is done, right? So there has to be an approval. If there is no authorized share whatsoever, there has to be an application by the company to increase the share capital and then get approval for it to be unpaid but authorized, existing. Then they now pay for it and distribute to shareholders. But in this case, the company is not paying for nothing. It's already existing shares that they were only going to redistribute. So it does not affect, and that's why people are worried when companies also give bonuses at times, because it leads to share dilution. Because if there were 5 billion shares and you are adding 2 more billion shares because you want to do bonus, you have diluted the existing shares, and therefore your per share metrics is going to be affected negatively in the short term. But in this case, because there are not new shares being created, therefore there's no dilution regarding the Oando shares. Let's remember, this is a knowledge session. So it's an opportunity for us to go deeper, understand better what is obtainable in the capital markets. I hope somebody's getting something. If you are, say sense. Just type sense. This one, I'm just talking and going for almost an hour now. I need to be sure that I'm being heard. So let me see your sense. All right? TikTok always responds very fast. Sense. Okay, only one response on Instagram. Are my Instagram family following? Okay, just Abisolami says, what's the best price to enter Vitaphone? I guess that's the birthday gift for yourself. Congratulations once again and happy birthday to you. What a way to gift yourself. I'm going down to see what's happening with Vitaphone right now. It was looking attractive at 53. Let's see if it's still there or around 54. That's the last time I saw it. My eyes are on that stock. Okay, 53.80. Absolutely fantastic. At this point, okay, the highest bid is at 53.80, while the lowest bid is at 50. The lowest offer is at 55. Yesterday it closed at 58 naira 80 kobo. Last transaction was at 53.80, and there are about just 6,000 shares at 53.80. So if you are interested, maybe you should put in a bid at 53.50. 53.50 has 7,800 shares before. The reason is because the offers are more than the bids. So there is a chance that they could sell to you at 53.50. Yeah. Vitafoam has this way of shooting up, then staying a bit there, then losing a few nairas, then shooting higher, and so on and so forth. That's how it has been moving from when I mentioned it at 23. Basak says Vitafoam on bamboo is 60 naira 50 kobo. Interesting stuff. Even yesterday it didn't close at 60. It was 58.80. So how it is 60 over there when we're seeing the last transaction is at 53.80, I am not able to explain. Coach, what's a good entry for Access and First Hold Co? That means I go on to the premium board to check. Currently, Access is at 21.95. It's even losing right now, 21.90, just the moment I clicked on it. So the bids are less, 20 million bids versus 24 million offers for Access. So 21.90 or 21.85 is a good entry price for Access. For First Hold Co, I saw it jump to 26 naira today. That's a sign that fresh hands are coming in, and those who sold at 25 and under may have exhausted their products in the market. Yes, so for First Hold Co, currently 25.75, having peaked at 26 something today, we have 10 million bids versus 8 million offers. That is to say, you could still buy at 25.70. It could be possible for a desperate seller to come in to sell off at 25.50 or even less. Because this same First Hold Co we saw sometime, if not yesterday, last week at 24. Dr. Newton Enyimba says, I've always known that there's something wrong with bamboo's prices. Exactly. One thing I don't like is inconsistency and lack of transparency. For whatever reason, it should not be selling for 60. 60 should not be flashing on the dashboard, because it didn't close at 60 yesterday. It was 58.80. So, and then today is selling less, unless it is someone bought at 60 today, and then that's what it's reflecting based on delayed data. And all these things we are saying, it's not as though they personally or purposely do these things, but I believe that they should be proactive in getting feedbacks from users, so they can correct some of these things and make some adjustments. Coach, have AfriPrud shared the 2-for-1 share bonus? African Prudential did not do 2-for-1. African Prudential did 1-for-1. Chinenye Maria, that's the situation. I am unsure if allotment has been done. Sir, is Transcorp a good buy, and what's the good entry price? Transcorp has been very sluggish and disappointing in terms of price movement as far as the expectations of retail investors is concerned. And that is not unconnected with the fact that they continue to pay low dividend even after doing share reconstruction. Maybe they are waiting for the perfect time to start paying reasonably high dividends. Well, we can only wait to see what happened. But currently, Transcorp is at 43 naira per share, and that's below the pre-reconstruction price. So people are just kind of tired or weary, and maybe are exiting at some point. But sometimes they just come out with this surprise of start paying good dividend, because they've reconstructed the stocks now. It's no longer 40 billion shares outstanding for Transcorp. It's now 10 billion shares. So that's going to be helpful going forward. Let's see what happens. Now we have a caller. I want to test if I can hear with this whole setup that has happened. And who do we have? We have the prof himself in the building. He is Oremos. Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you today?
Absolutely fine. Thank you very much. And how are you?
I'm okay. To God be the glory.
Amen. Where are
So
you streaming
I
from,
want to.
sir? As usual.
Okay. Sorry. I'm speaking from Imo State. I'm
All right.
Oremus.
Thank you.
So I want to ask a question, and it's as regards the two stocks you mentioned earlier, Aradel and NIDF. I'm not a stock trader. I am an investor. So I don't
Good.
sell. I don't buy and sell to make profits. My own strategy is to accumulate maybe 6 or 7 good dividend paying stocks, and then I can rest. So that is my strategy.
Awesome.
Then I am done with Aradel. So the
Hmm.
next in line is NIDF. Although I have a good number, but then I have not arrived where I want to reach in accumulating any IDF. So Aradel will pay its dividends in 2 days' time, and then I want to carry everything and then reinvest in NIDF. But then I am seeing a window of opportunity in Dangote Cement because they will be paying 30 naira dividends, and I think in the next 2 weeks. So what I want to do is I want to kind of buy Dangote Cement, collect the dividends, then resell, and then plunge everything into any IDF. So I don't know whether that's a good business plan. Make I not go lose my money.
Okay. I'm trying to check now. June 9th is qualification date for Dangote Cement. June 9th is the qualification date. Now, Dangote Cement is currently selling at 437 naira per share intraday, but continues to close at 440 at the moment. There are 2 million bids, 2 million offers versus 371,000 bids. So the demand is low compared to the supply as we speak. And what we have is a dividend of 30 naira per share that they're going to be paying. Yes. All right. So if you buy Dangote cement between now and 9th of June, you will qualify for that 30 naira dividend. The only challenge is the 30 naira is going to be marked down from the stock price afterwards or before the payment, because markdown date always applicable before the payment. So assume today is markdown date and the price is at 437, or let's say assume tomorrow is markdown date and the price is at 437. They're going to mark up down 30 naira from that price, and that will bring it to 407. Two things are likely to happen. The investing public may view it as too cheap and quickly rush in to buy it, and it recovers back upwards. Scenario number one. Number two, people may feel, well, there's nothing much coming again. It will take another 1 year before dividend is paid, and the half year result is not yet out. Therefore, we should just ignore it for a while, and then there could be sell offs that will push it below 400, because at 407 post markdown, there is every tendency for it to go below. Scenario number two. If scenario number two happens, which is the worst case scenario for you, then I would say stay in there and wait for it. If scenario number one happens, which is it recovers back after the dividend and then you sell almost about the same price you bought, you have won. But you could wait longer also and still see it climb higher. Long and short is Dangote Cement has done some share buybacks that positions it to even pay more dividend than it is paying currently, because they are now going to be paying less because the stocks that they bought back were actually cancelled. That is, they bought the stocks back and cancelled it from being in existence completely. And in that case, they have fewer shares outstanding to continue to work with, which is good news for dividend per share, earnings per share, and all those other metrics, right? So the ball is now in your court to make the final decision. Having exposed the eventualities that may occur, why it is not too much of a risk for me is that Dangote Cement is not a joke when it comes to stocks listed on the stock exchange. This Dangote Cement that we're seeing will eventually rise back to the 700 naira that it got to when Femi Otedola took position. Let's all remember that Otedola has a huge stake in Dangote Cement. It was during the time he was buying that the stock price was driven up to 700 and something naira per share. So, over to you. If you
All
go
right,
in
coach.
as you project and it does not favor you in the interim, I can assure you it's just short term. Eventually, it will pay handsomely. But if you want to
Coach, I
play
will
safe,
enter there.
you avoid. But in the long run,
I will enter
maybe
there.
you have heard the names involved. Otedola is involved. And currently, he's actually at a loss now. So you can imagine what happens when they stabilize and decide that, okay, let's ramp up activities. So Dangote Cement is actually selling at a very good price at the moment. Thank you very much. I saw
All
a
right, thank you,
very,
coach.
thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Yeah,
I
have a
saw
nice
a
day.
very important feedback from our able legal luminary, VOO. Yes, that's it. I'm trying to scroll back there so we can all benefit from this insight from the legal perspective of what I was explaining about paid up share capital and issued share capital. Okay, now, where's that comment now? We need to learn from this. Okay, that's it. Once upon a time, companies could have authorized shares without issuing them. Now, the CAMA 2020 abolished the concept of authorized shares capital. Okay, let's learn. Remember, this is a knowledge session. This has now been replaced with minimum issued share capital. All right. Oh, okay. So there's no more authorized. I think that the system was abused. I am suspecting that the system was abused or that it has the danger of being abused. And to avoid such, they abolished that, which is good. So let's understand from what I was explaining about issued and authorized. Authorized has been abolished. You need fresh approval for any new issue, basically, I guess. Akombi Yemisi, I don't want to skip this question. That's why I had to stop here to respond. Ella Lakes, what are they into, please? Yemisi, Ella Lakes in the, my God, something is brewing in NACO. They keep buying that stock at 80 naira per share at the moment. Well, we watch and see. So Ella Lakes initially used to only be involved in fish farming. They had lakes all over River State. And then along the line, the company got into challenges. Business was not doing well. And then, of course, the demise of the founder, Chief Ella. And then along the line, after a while, they just got some form of restructuring and new capital injected into the company. And what that has meant is that Ella Lakes is now trying to venture into oil palm production, number one. They're also diversifying into cassava plantation, rice plantation, and of course, piggery. Now, all of that needs to start producing and showing in their books. And that's what we're waiting for. So it's in the agri sector, which, if well coordinated, is a cash cow in the present Nigerian economy. Woody says, sir, you said FTN cocoa is for the long term. Please, what's the good entry price? I was actually waiting for FTN cocoa at around under 2 naira, but it recently jumped above 2 and has refused to come below. Currently at 244. Yesterday it closed at 236. Let me do the analysis for you. 6 million bids versus 3 million offers. Highest bid is 239. Lowest offer is 2 naira 44 kobo. So I guess this is why the last transaction was at 244, because the bids are higher than the offer, almost double the offer, and means they are now a bit impatient in waiting for the price to come down. But you never know. Between now and Friday, I'm still waiting to buy it below 2 or anything closer to 2 than it is right now. So a little bit patience is required. It's not like their results have been fantastic, no. So a little bit of caution, but I've already mentioned that in the long run, like you also affirmed, that stock should also do well based on those agri sector boosts. One agri sector that empowered a lot of people, from which people made a lot of money, is livestock feeds, but everybody has ignored it for now, and it continues to hang on to the 8 naira price. Eventually, if there is an improvement in their finances, that could go places. If you are not following me, you are losing a lot. You are not just losing money, you are losing knowledge. So I've added something else to it. All right, let's keep going. Oremos, note there is stockbroker's fee. Of course, he is aware. Hi, look at that explanation. Show me your coach and let me show you mine. Smart. Maobi the Great. You always have great things to say. Farm Mina, sir, does that mean Aradel can also be marked down after dividend payment? Do you advise we buy or wait? If you can decide to ignore the dividend, but what I know is that if Aradel is marked down at for what? How much is Aradel at the moment? Let's see. Yes, every stock is marked down once just before dividend is paid. So let's assume markdown date is today and Aradel is 505. They will take out the 22 naira. So 505 minus 22 naira. From tomorrow, it will open at a new price. Well, somebody has been impatient with that FTN cocoa and has sold down. It's no longer 240 something. I'm seeing some transactions just rolled out. It's now 236, yesterday's closing price. So from a gaining point, it's now at a neutral point, and it has drastically reduced the bids from 6.1 million to 5.6 million, right? That's the way the market goes. Yeah? Okay. So Aradel will then now be marked down. But a lot of times, when stock prices are marked down, it quickly reverses back upwards because people know that this thing is too cheap for how low it has come. Yeah, unless it's not a very good stock. That's why the decision by Oremos to go for Dangote cement makes sense, because it will not remain at that markdown price. In fact, it has stayed too long where it is, and any moment it should start finding its way upwards, because I think Dangote cement, Bua cement, Bua Foods. There are some category of stocks that are now at the oversold zone. When a stock is oversold, in technical terms, oversold means it has reached its bare bottom and has nowhere below to go other than upwards, unless something terrible happens. Yes? Jukes. It says Aradel has been marked down on qualification date. Aha. All right. If Aradel got marked down on qualification date, then, and, oh yes, Aradel's qualification date was earlier. I think 9th of March or something earlier. 9th of May or something earlier. Oh yes, very correct. Very, very correct. Thank you very much for that. Aradel has been marked down on qualification date. It's Dangote cement that will be on the 9th. Qualification date is 9th. I think that's when they will mark it down. So even before you receive the dividend, the price will just recover. So that makes it a good move to buy. Yeah, that's true. Milola Wealth, thank you for joining. It's good to have you here. Do you have questions? Feel free. We're glad to have you. Can I still hold or sell my UCAP and reposition in another stock like NACO? I have it, but not much. Please advise. What if you go into NACO now that is rising and it drops? You lose money. I think since it's not much as well, just ignore it. I know it may be looking like it's stagnant, and that's understandable coming from a 2-for-1 bonus giving. Check any of these stocks that did bonus. They need time to recover. That's a lot. It's almost like somebody who got drained. If you donate blood, you will lose strength and you will need time to recover. That's what happens to most of these stocks, from VFD to African Prudential to UCAP to even QTix. Last year, QTix did 1-for-1. The reason why QTix can now start moving is because it's been a long time since last year coming. So they've now gathered themselves, and hopefully the finances begins to improve based on the new number of shares, just doubling what existed. You can imagine. If they had 10 billion shares, they gave 10 billion extra, 1-for-1 bonus, right? So that's the way it is. Showy says that was what I was saying, that it has been marked down. Okay. Yeah, Aradel has been marked down. So let's understand this and get this right. I don't always keep these things in my head because I try to find space for many other things to put together. Can I still hold or sell my UCAP? Okay, I've responded to that. Coach, please talk about Julius Berger. Grace, all I can say is careful with Julius Berger. The price rallied from 27 naira a year ago to 170 something, and then only for them to come out with a poor dividend, and the market is disappointed. Let's go and see what's happening with Berger. That's it. Yesterday it closed at 137. Today it's at 123. Full offer. Nobody is buying. So be careful there. They've not impressed in terms of payout. But it's another thing to look again at the results to see what happened in the first quarter, whether things are changing. Because sometimes when a company is heavily rejected like this, there seems to be a chance that it rebounds fully. Coach, can I sell my Julius Berger? Okay. Julius Berger again. Insert Ikbat. Can I sell my Julius Berger now? It is not moving at all. The point is, it's even difficult to sell because there are 594,000 offers, 0 bids. So far today, only 73,000 shares have been traded. That's how rejected the stock is. A lot of other stocks that are in full offer, you will see that 1 million shares have been traded, 500,000 shares have been traded. But for Julius Berger, after 3 solid hours of trading, only 73,000 has been traded. So they didn't meet up with the expectations of the market, and now the price has to suffer. Oh wow, Real Seal says just got my Aradel dividend. You guys are simply amazing. Can't you see that? You just sit down and doing something else, and Aradel is telling you, sir, your dividend is ready. Have it. Do what you like with it. Thank you very much. Black Ballet says Aradel was marked down on the 7th. Okay. Which was a day after qualification. Okay, thank you. Please, coach, what's the step to take to claim a share that was bought in 2014? Danat Emmanuel. Danat Emmanuel, tell your broker to dematerialize if it's a public offer. If it isn't a public offer, then either you email the stockbroker through whom you bought, or you initiate a share transfer you from with your new broker. So they'll give you a transfer form to transfer the stocks to you. Coach, what's your take on UPDC and Union Homes? Well, Union Homes is a real estate investment trust. And as we know it, it's always very scarce. Union Homes is always very scarce. It's currently at 51 or 50 naira per share. And it can give you very good dividend going forward. That's the nature of REITs. For UPDC, if you can buy at 3 and stay patient, fine. I announced it at 290 or so, and some people bought. It even dropped to 285 and then was just wobbling around 2. Eventually, it's now at 3 and it's refusing to go below 3. So that's perhaps where it is. Coach, any hope of lifting suspension for Unity Bank? Kenny Odebala. Well, no information whatsoever. The case of Unity Bank is purely a case of mismanagement that has led to the CBN intervening. And behind the scene now, CBN is trying to ensure that the bank continues to operate and doesn't go under. Concrete arrangement has already been put in place for Unity Bank to go into a merger with, is it Providos Bank? It's Providos Bank. And interestingly or surprisingly, Providos is going to be the parent or the lead partner in the merger. So it's almost like an acquisition of Unity Bank. And to ensure that this deal works, CBN is injecting about 700 billion naira into that deal. I think it's 700 million or 700 billion. I think 700 million. Like I said, I know I'm trying to juggle information a lot. So there are some that I don't really bother myself to stick in my head because I need space. When I analyze this, I go to US stocks, I talk about this, I look for a lot of things. So some things I just create space from my, what do they call it again? Random access memory. You know, we all have, before they created these computer systems, these things, God has put it in our systems. There is random access memory. Some things that you just remember and keep somewhere. Something will happen, that file will just appear. Boom. You'll be wondering, you weren't memorizing it, you weren't thinking about it, but when the reason for it comes, the file just shows up. Yeah? Exactly. Coach, please, oh, how can my sister recover her shares? She invested through a third party, and now the lady is not telling her anything at all. How do we mean invested through a third party? Did the woman invest in her own name using your sister's money? That's where the problem is. If that is the case, she can't even claim it because the Securities and Exchange Commission doesn't know her. So maybe she wants to go through the police. Does she have evidence that her money was transferred to this person to do this? Then that's the way to go. But it cannot be claimed through any stockbroker or through under the regulations of SEC, since it was not her name she used to acquire the stock. What's your take on WAPIC? WAPIC Insurance is one of the oldest insurance companies that should be behaving well. That's all I know. Julius Berger, qualification date is 30th May. Chuka Obona. Okay, I wasn't even looking for their qualification date. For those who own Julius Berger, well, 30th May is not far anymore. It seems that people are not interested in buying the stock at the moment. Please, what's the meaning of credit score, its usage and purposes? Lawal. Credit score simply It's more like a report card about your credit history. Have you borrowed before? How regularly were you repaying your loans? Have you defaulted before? Are you defaulting now? Is there a history of default in all your credit history? And all of that scores you points, and that becomes your credit score. A lot of times it's used abroad because the economy abroad is usually credit based. That's why you have credit card there, but you don't have credit card here. In Nigeria, you have debit card, but nobody's going to tell you buy now, pay later. Never. That's why even cars, you are buying a car in Nigeria, you're buying a house in Nigeria, they're asking for the money right there. Even rent, they're asking you to pay 2 years rent today. These practices are really a huge surprise and shock to foreigners, because the question is, how will you get money to pay for 2 years that you have not lived? That's how you know a solid system. They know that you get paid weekly over there, even if you get paid monthly over there. How are you supposed to have accumulated 2 years rent to come and pay for only rent? You have not talked about electricity bill, you have not talked about water, gas, and all those things. You are expected to generate 2 years rent and give to landlord to sit down and eat. It's not done. Rent is paid weekly or monthly abroad. That's it. Simple. Because they expect that you should earn the money before you pay. But here, the reverse is the case. And that's why people will get involved in corrupt things. Okay? If house rent was charged weekly, then it also requires that you be responsible to an extent to live up to the expectations. So a lot of people use credit card abroad. The point is, when you keep spending that money that you have not earned, by the time your salary comes, do you divert them, and so on and so forth? The lenders over there also, they are not really too excited for you to pay ahead of time. When you say you will pay, let's say you pay on the 30th, you are now paying on the 18th. That can be injurious to your credit score as well. As wonderful as it sounds, as good as it sounds, but it does not do your credit score any good. What helps your credit score is the date you say you will pay. Did you pay? Did you pay before? They will begin to wonder, because they want to be able to plan and stick to that plan and let it just auto run. They don't put them in confusion. If it's 30th, even if the money comes before the 30th, leave it there for them to take it on the 30th. That's the way it works. So that's how you get credit score, and that helps you in your future loan applications. So that's the way it works. Coach, please, when is Wema rights issue going to be allotted? Nobody knows that. They don't tell people that, because you can't predict how long it takes to put those papers together. Coach, please help clarify. Afro Investor is showing Aradel at 530. That was the price it jumped to in the early hours of trading today. Let's go and see what's going on at the moment with Aradel. Currently, Aradel is 507. So if you have that app and you want to invest, go for limit price. Please don't go for market order. Don't go for market. If you go for market order, they can sell you at 530. Go for limit price and impute 507. You'll be able to buy. Okay, I'm sorry. Somebody should be standing by there now. Okay, DNA is standing by. Akudo Onyido says, is WAPIC a buy or sell for 6 months outlook? Looks like a lot of attention on WAPIC. Different people are asking questions. Let me take a dive into WAPIC. Can't do any immediate research on the spot in this live session, but let's see. WAPIC. It seems to be some huge attention there. I personally am not too drawn to insurance stocks. But Wapik is one of the old names. It shouldn't disappoint. The question is, has it gone high enough for it to be a risk now, or is it okay? Wapik under two should not be bad, but currently at 1 naira 96 kobo. Yesterday it was 209. Is it trying to do a retracement from a movement upwards? Okay, what should be a good buy? 52 weeks high is over 3 naira per share, only 196. We'll need to take a look. There is more supply of WAPI than there is offers. So I think you should stay patient since it's losing. Let's see how low it goes between now and Friday. That's my take. Hello. Hello, DNA. Are you there?
Good afternoon, Coach. I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear. Good afternoon. Do you have up to 1,000 followers, sir?
Yes, I do, but I think I'm at a place of work right now, so I probably cannot turn on my camera.
All right. Not a problem. We will go with that. Tell us your
Yeah.
name and where you're streaming from, sir.
Well, I'm Daniel by name. I've been a regular caller oftentimes. So I'm probably reaching from Italy.
All right. Daniel from Italy. Thank you for joining. Go
Uh,
ahead.
you're welcome. My question is about Stanbic IBTC ETF. What's your take about that? Because sometime last year, I think I remember it traded for around 800. So what actually happened that it has fallen to that? I think as at present, 200 and something, 230. What's happening with that stock, that ETF?
I think I got that complaint somewhere else, and it's very shocking to see an ETF drop that low. But I've not been able to really inquire to find out what really went on, because it will be very disappointing that a lot of people like to. There is this narrative that going with ETFs is safer and so preserves your capital, and I have never seen such a drop in the history of ETFs that I know. Personally, I'm not even invested in ETFs at all, both foreign and Nigerian. So my attention is not in that sector as well as to immediately tell what went wrong. But I heard there was a serious depreciation of Stanbic IBTC ETF.
Yes, yes, there is this. Yes, there is a serious because I think so. I traded on it sometime last year and I sold at about 800. So I haven't noticed the ups and down. I decided to probably I made it a trading stock. I just trade on it and then I do away with it. And then when it goes down, I, you know, key into it. When it goes up again, I do away with it. My other question again would be, what's your take on Transpower? Or what actually happened? Because that as well has also gone down.
Okay, Transpower, what is happening to it right now, it's purely based on the corporate actions. It's not been very impressive in terms of payout dividend wise. So what's going on now is market's reaction, which is the disapproval of how they have handled dividend payout. Otherwise, Transpower is actually supposed to be a cash cow. And we're just waiting to see the eventual body language of the management. Whether they want to keep it as low as that by paying very meager dividend, then people will have to move their funds if that is the case. And that's why it continues to also be on full offer. I'm going there now to check what the status is at the moment. Transpower is always on offer. That's it. 295 naira 70 kobo. 10.7 million, 10.7 million bids, zero, 10.7 million offers, zero bids. And then at the end of the day, it closes at 328 naira because nobody is willing to stake the 100,000 block transaction to move the price down. In any case, you can imagine after almost 3 hours, 30 minutes of trading, only 8,000 shares has been traded. So people are not impressed and they would rather leave you alone. Imagine buying Transpower at 328 and even higher before now and receiving such a poor dividend compared to Dangote cement that is paying 30 naira per share, or Aradel that is paying
Oh
equivalent
yeah.
to 30 naira per share split into two. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, because I'm asking because, like you said, I think I started engaging on that trans power even at higher than what we have as at present. Although my loss are not that, the margin is not that high anyway, so it's quite nothing much to panic about. But I'm a little bit concerned. Why is it going down that way?
that's basically
And
what is also holding back Transcorp itself, the parent company.
yeah. And I would like to know as well because last year MTN they never paid out dividend probably because of some kind of their financial crisis. This year, is there anything because still there hasn't been any publication from MTN.
Okay, yes, they had foreign exchange losses because of the devaluation of the naira, considering the fact that some of the equipment and invoices are actually imported. So those bills came in USD. And so when the naira got devaluated that much, as we experienced the last 1.5 year, what happened was they now had to pay more naira to convert to USD to pay their bills. In any case, I think they're out of the woods considering how their fourth quarter 2024 result came out. Then first quarter result, I haven't really seen, if I'm not mistaken, but there is hope that things are turning around for MTN. And so that's the main reason why, for the first time ever, they didn't pay dividend for 2024. Otherwise, they're supposed to have paid dividend twice. Now, if they will pay dividend twice this year, we will know by the time the second quarter result is out. But the losses they incurred has created a huge hole in their balance sheet. I'm thinking they may not have sufficient cash reserve, and some kind of
Okay,
retained
but
earnings is required.
to call to your attention, I think this is the second year. 2023 they didn't pay. 2024 as well. So I'm a little bit concerned.
2023
How
they
can they go
paid.
2 consecutive years?
2023 they paid. What we're saying is the 2024 dividend is paid in part in 2024 and the final in 2025. But for
Oh
2023
yeah.
they paid. So it's almost looking like 2 years, but it's not. It's just for the full 2024. So
I probably am
we will watch and see.
misconcepting the. Okay,
We'll watch and see
no
how
problem.
it goes this time.
Anyway, I appreciate your response and your time giving out this whole lot of information. I appreciate your effort. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you,
I'll be
Daniel.
sign. I'll be signing off.
It's all right. Enjoy your day.
Welcome. Thank you.
Williams Kukang, you will be next, but let me respond to some of the comments. Omatek is an Ogbaje stock, Showy. That's responding to Kiddies Well Lagos, who says, "What's happening? Omatek is on full bid, no offer." Well, the people who trade and make money from it are at it again. So they will continue to do this, find a way to make it look scarce, and then create attention, and then sell off, jump out. Be careful. Just you can't be all over the place. Focus on. Remember, there's going to be noises in the market. Have your strategy, stick to it, believe the process, and stay safe. Right? That's the way it is. Official mobile says, Coach, Guinness touched 90 yesterday. Well, it even touched 94. I've said it from 70 something, right? It's now going and trying to touch 90. It may not close at 90 at all, but that's the way it keeps going. I've said it that Guinness is a 100 naira stock. When it was at 70 something, I was saying that, well, we're almost there. Sir, which company is selling shares in Nigeria? Cherish is asking. Now, this type of question tells me that Cherish thinks that it's only during public offers that stocks of companies are sold. So, Cherish, you are in the right place, and I can tell you we are gathering knowledge on a daily basis, and today you will find out that all companies' shares are actually traded on a daily basis. Yes. The stocks of companies listed on the stock exchange are traded daily on the Nigerian exchange, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 2:20 p.m. Nigerian time. So all you hear in public is when they are doing public offer, initial public offer, or rights issue, when they advertise all over the place and try to get more people to invest for the first time or take up new shares, even if they already have it. But in the stock market, on a daily basis, those who already have those companies' shares continue to sell to those who want to buy daily. So all Nigerian companies you know that are publicly traded are available in the stock market. I hope that clears your question. Sir, what stock are we trading this week in the US market? Yeah, over the weekend I did a research and I have one stock on my watch list. That stock on my watch list should be, see why I don't keep things in my head, because I rely seriously um, on my watch list. I create a watch list, loads of watch lists, and then I follow one stock at a time. What's the name of this stock now? I can't really pinpoint immediately. I should have. I didn't even think. Right. At least my instincts will not fail me. I was looking at one stock called Adma. It's in the biotechnology sector. Company has very good fundamentals. I'm not done with my research, but I can give you a little bit of update. Currently, it's at $20.42. Adma, ticker symbol ADMA. Adma Biologics Incorporated, $20.42. That's the one I came up with over the weekend. In the last 5 days, it has gained 3%, but in the last 1 month, it's lost 8%. In the last 6 months, it's lost 4%. However, between January and now, it's gained 17%, and in the last 1 year, it has gained 113%. If you bought it 5 years ago, you would have been 596% up. That shows some progressive trajectory of the price movement. But before that can happen, if you take a look at the fundamentals, you will see that it's earned 15 cents per share, right? 15 cents per share. And PE ratio is quite high, 23, but if you check it against biotechnology firms, it's not bad. But the trailing, that 15 cents per share is the quarterly earnings per share for second quarter 2025. So the trailing 12 months earning per share is 88 cents, almost $1. And at $20, earning almost $1 per share is a lot. Now, they made a revenue of $426 million, and that amount gave them a net income of $197 million. That's very, very reasonable. I'm trying to calculate what the margin is right now. 197, and that's net income. Revenue 426. I'm trying to work out what the net margin is. We're talking about 46% net margin, which is my biggest attraction to that stock. So it's a long-term, fundamentally sound stock that I discovered, and I've not finished my due diligence on it, but it has some good promises. So that's all I can say for now regarding your question. Please, how can I link my Fidelity public offer shares to my stockbroker, please? In or reach, very simple. Email your stockbroker, inform them, in fact, authorize them to dematerialize. Make sure you use this word, that they should dematerialize your Fidelity Bank shares you bought from the public offer, so that you can be able to see it on your dashboard, whoever your broker is. Coach, how about custodian shares? Prudent. Custodian is the best insurance company listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. No contest. When you have most of insurance companies as penny stocks, whereas you have custodian insurance selling for as high as 20 naira per share, it tells you what a great stock that should be, because the value is so much. Very, very solid insurance stock. That's why it's that high right now. We saw custodian at 17 some few days ago, and I think I mentioned that it was a good entry price. It hardly drops to 17. Well, it recovered very fast. Currently at 20 naira 55 kobo, having closed yesterday at 19 naira 70 kobo. This is not the price I would like you to buy it, but it speaks a lot about the quality of this stock. Imagine 14.4 million shares bidded for, only 1.6 million is on offer. They've already traded 37 million shares of this stock. I think institutional money is going into this stock already, valued at 751 million naira. It's even selling more banks as we speak. This is nearly 1 billion naira. So I'm seeing institutional funds diving into custodian insurance already. The point is will it go higher than this? Time will tell. Hello, coach. Please, does Guinness pay dividends? Guinness couldn't pay dividend last year, but Guinness actually does pay dividend. Alfredo, they will pay dividend going forward, knowing that things are getting better now. Coach, should we expect dividend on Guinness? Well, not for last year, but for the current financial year, and the financial year will have to end first. So you are only taking fresh position now in Guinness, right? Coach, please, is Boa Foods a good stock? Acting for the next time I will have cash. Boa Foods is a good stock and currently selling at discount. Closes at 400 and something, but always available at 300 and something. Very good stock. They are going through some expansions, which I shared some months ago here. They struck various deals. They're going into the noodles business, noodles packaging. They went into agreement with certain Chinese companies in various of the Boa in the months to come. So, what do you think about Transpower? Something about Transpower to Daniel from Italy. It's dormant because it's remained at it remained it's currently on full offer because they continue to pay low dividend, frustrating shareholders. So nothing is going up. I'm new here and new to stock. Can you enlighten me on stock code? I think at this point, first of all, we welcome you who surged. I hope I got it right. You are in the right place if you are looking for practical knowledge. Stocks, you are paying for a part of a company, which means you become a part owner of that company. All we are doing is, so you are buying assets when you buy stocks. People lose money when they don't know what they are doing in the stock market. So if you will settle down, follow me on Instagram, send me a DM, I'll send you and request for the link to open your brokerage account. Request also to join Network Investors Club. I'll send you the link. We are on Discord app. Then you go ahead to watch some of the helpful YouTube beginner guide videos in my YouTube channel. That's all. Once you have the background knowledge, just like you need knowledge of any business you are doing, you will eventually begin to prosper in it, right? So that's all you need to do. Then 2 hours every weekday, Monday to Friday, 12 noon to 2 p.m. I come here and we investigate the market and search for opportunities to invest. The market is very dynamic. You can't learn to prosper in the stock market and grow wealth through one seminar. You need a community where information is always shared and you follow market trends and analysis. That's what we do. I hope I've made it simple for you. So click on the link on my bio. You will see a Linktree link there. You will see all my social media handles. Follow so you can follow up on market trends, analysis, and stock recommendations outside the live session as well. On the group, you will always see discussions going on. We also invest in foreign markets, so we analyze foreign stocks as well. Now that reminds me, one foreign stock I'm looking at buying is MSTR. I wish the market was open yesterday. I would have bought that stock. It's not cheap. MSTR was selling for over $400 per share. But yesterday, the last trading day, it crashed below 400. And for me, that's a good entry price. I just hope it doesn't go up before I take position in it. So anybody looking for foreign stock to buy, MSTR, MicroStrategy, currently 369. It will go back to 400, no doubt. What do? Basically, they are just into investing in crypto. These people have amassed millions of dollars of crypto currency, Bitcoin particularly. And I tell you this, MicroStrategy raised $427 million and purchased an additional 4,020 Bitcoin, bringing its total Bitcoin holdings to 580,250 Bitcoin. Did you hear that? 580,250 Bitcoin is what they have right now. They've just been stacking up Bitcoin, and recently Bitcoin price jumped and touched an all-time high. So MicroStrategy, why did the stock price drop? They are facing two class actions lawsuits for allegedly misleading investors about their business and Bitcoin strategy from April 30th, 2024 to April 4th. Yeah? So that's the challenge. But you know what? All these things eventually comes to an end. Well, the market is already looking beyond that and are pricing something higher than it closed. So it's similar to what happened with this stock UNH. UNH. Well, let me finish with MicroStrategy. Now, MicroStrategy is, though it closed at 369, currently it's in pre-market, it's 378. It's already gaining $8 per share. I know that in the end, it will go back to 400 and keep climbing. Let me give you a little history of the stock price movement. It has gained between January and now 23%. Because of this class act lawsuit, it lost 5% in the last 5 days. 1 year ago, if you had bought, you are 139% up in profit. If you bought 5 years ago, you are up 2,940%. So this stock actually just mirrors Bitcoin's progress. And every day Bitcoin continues to get some legal approval or recognition across financial institutions in the world. And the more Bitcoin continues to become a mainstay and continues to get approvals of the world central banks, then of course this stock will continue to go higher. So this is one dip along its rise that I found. Okay. Do I have a caller? Let me check. Williams Kukang. He has really been patient. I think I forgot that he was the next to come online. But thank God he's been hanging on there. And now we have a chance to speak with Williams. Hello, Williams.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good afternoon to you. Please, you have up to 1,000 followers.
Hello.
Hello, Williams. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you clearly. Maybe it's from my end.
I can hear you. Can you hear me, Williams? Hello, Williams. You have been patient enough. We do not want to lose you. Are you there? In any case, while we are trying to hear Williams out, let's go on to the next. Okay, we lost him there. Coach didn't say to buy Omateko. He said it's a pump and dump stock, aka Ogbanje Abiku stock. This showy man is so funny. Coach, please talk about Realty Income U.S. stock. Is that not the stock that has a single alphabet as its ticker symbol? That's the stock that know as O. Ticker symbol O, that is 0, or O, letter O. That's Realty Income. Yeah, that's it. Actually, Realty Income is one of the best REITs in the US. I'm trying to figure it out now, particularly. You can take it to the bank. It's one of the best real estate investment trust stocks. And it's worth buying now. I'm trying to search for it. I've not been able to get the exact one, but it used to hover around 50, between 50 and 60 USD per share. I'm not able to find it right now, but it's a good stock to buy because they are consistent. I think they pay dividend. Is it quarterly or something? Unfortunately, I can't find them immediately here. I would have been able to say more, but I know it to be one of the best in terms of real estate investment trust stocks in the US. Consistent dividend payout, and recently it's uh, it's been stagnant in terms of its price movement. Okay, currently $55 per share. Yeah, and at 55 it's fair as long as it doesn't go for the long term though, because technical indications are showing a sell, but technicals are always on the surface, buy and sell, so they can give you signals. But for long term, if you are a dividend investor, then you buy it. But just note that there is not much price appreciation for this stock. And how you can know that is check for the beta, BETA. Everywhere you see a beta less than 1, know that that stock doesn't move too much. Volatility is low. So it's more like a defensive stock for those who are looking forward to saving money or investing for retirement. They have an earnings per share of $1.10 and book value or per share of $43.77. So it's very close to the share price, which means it is very valuable. So that's all about realty income. If you need more details, I can give you the current shares outstanding is 903 million shares, $5.4 billion revenue, net income of 968 million. So a well-managed company, very profitable, as you can see from the earnings per share of $1.10. All right. Coach, you talked about MSTR. Can you look at MSTY and give your opinion? MSTY. Okay, let's take a look. We have 7 minutes to go today. MSTY. Doesn't seem to exist on, let's see, MSTY. Oh, you mean MSTY ETF? Please confirm. Champ, do you mean MSTY? The ETF? Because MSTY is not a stock, it's an ETF. Okay. I wish to see what's happened to MSTY in the last 1 month. Currently $21.52. Wow, technicals are showing strong sell. And that means there could be a very serious price fluctuation downwards in the near term. And if you want to buy, it will be good to time your entry and see how low it goes before you buy. It's lost 38% in the last 1 year. The 52 weeks range is $17.10 to $46.50. So the 52 weeks high is $46.50, while the 52 weeks low is $17.10. Currently at $21.52, means if the technical indication is showing a strong sell, there is still a chance that it could trade below 21 that it is right now. Yeah. But the interesting thing is that it has a high dividend yield. How is that possible? 132%. This needs to be confirmed. I'm seeing dividends of $28. Dividend, trailing 12 months dividend of $28. I need to really investigate this stock to be sure. Shares outstanding 175 million shares. Okay. We need to really check how safe it is to invest here. It's an ETF. Some ETFs have really suffered a lot of market intricacies due to the instability of Donald Trump's policies in terms of trade and so on. So a lot of stocks, the inconsistency and unrest is causing a lot of confusion, and that's not what the market really likes. When there is uncertainty, the market doesn't like that. That's why Nigerian markets and markets in Africa are difficult to attract attention of foreign portfolio investors. Coach, how much can I enter charms and tip? Okay, let's go back to the Nigerian scene and see what's happening with charms. Again, charms is at 227. Not a bad entry, but let's see what's 12 million versus 11 million. Okay, 227 is okay, but there's about 40,000 shares bidded for before you can enter if you put in a bid at 227. Though there is an offer for 228, 2 naira 28 kobo. That's talking about charms. For tip, it's tried its best to stay above 6. Let's see what the situation is at the moment. Currently neutral because it's trading at the closing price of yesterday, 6 naira 20 kobo. Okay. Aradel has dropped to 495. I guess a strong sell supply has now hit that stock and it's now back down, which is good for those who are not done with their purchases. Coach, please, is Sophie still a good stock to buy? Sophie is in my radar to really look into. Looks like there are promises in that stock. You just need to determine what entry you can come up with. Queen Mary says, Coach, please talk about NPF. Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank is about to pay dividend. The markdown date, is it tomorrow or so? And I think it's gone high enough. It doesn't really run too much, but it's a very good dividend stock. I used to buy that stock 98 kobo and all those things, and then I'll collect 10 kobo dividend, which is fantastic. But at some point I got tired and sold because it wasn't really moving too much. So most recently, it has improved in its performance after its suspension last year. You know, it was suspended from trading last year for delayed submission of their financial reports. Eventually, they've submitted and passed all the other hurdles and are now available and being traded successfully. So that's it. Okay, charms 228. No, I saw charms. Okay, yes, 228. 228. You will buy immediately if you bid 228 for charms. You'll be able to buy immediately, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there has been a trade already at 227. 150,000 shares traded. Could you be the person? Well, 228 is still available. 118,000 shares are available at 228. How much is Cadbury now, Coach? Cadbury currently selling at, just a minute, 36 naira 40 kobo, which is a good price too. 36.40 Cadbury. Ladies and gentlemen, we're as good as done. 1 minute to closing. Please, Coach, how much can I bid for Qtix? Let's see Qtix quickly. Qtix is down from 321 to 318. I think you can bid 316. There's a bid for 316, 51,000 shares. I think you can put in a bid at 316 and see how it goes. There's a likelihood it could succeed. There are also bids at 315, but that's about 500,000 shares plus being bidded at that point. Charms 228. Let's see, it's 227. Okay, I've responded to that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to the end because it's already 2 p.m. and I also need to go and take care of my own trades. I hope you enjoyed your time today and hope you're making the best decisions possible. The focus is that you all enjoy your trades and grow your portfolio as much as possible. If you are not following me, do well to do so, because you will be losing money. There are chances that you will grow your money every time we gather here and spot opportunities. Thank you very much, everybody. I really love to see your responses and to see your growth in this business. Let's build well together. Let's do it again tomorrow, same time, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Nigerian time. But until then, I wish your portfolios continue to stay green and keep growing. Next person to give your own fantastic testimonial shall surely be you. Thank you very much and have a great day. This is where we come to the end of today's session. And all I can say is bye for now. See you again tomorrow.